Now a very special friend is being called on stage by me. She's called Fabienne Herlaut. She's actually an Ecosummit Advisor. She's a VC of a multi-corporate VC called Ecomobilité Ventures. And now the stage is yours. Welcome to Ecosummit.
Bonjour. And I'm also one of the very few women speaking in front of you today and tomorrow. So, Jan, I'm glad to see that you have not improved in that dimension, but there is room for improvement. Okay, let me say a few, but it's always a pleasure, of course, to be one of the very few. Let me present you what we do at Ecomobilité, and let me give you a few words about how we see the mobility market evolving, not only for startups, but also for investors. So what do we do at Ecomobilité? How we define the market, what we believe is going to happen, and our observation regarding what happens in 2012 and 2013, except that I will use that more as an illustration of the two previous points. So Ecomobilité Ventures is, as you know now, a multi-corporate venture fund with 3 limited partners. We used to have 4. One left us last summer. So we have Orange, the telecom company, Total, energy provider, and SNCF. And they all joined forces because they thought that they were interested in the mobility market and they were prepared to add different skills and different expertise. And they were willing to be partners in analyzing the market and in investing in young companies. So we have 25 million equity, not a lot of money, but it's a startup project, it's a test. The fund is being managed by an independent team, and we invest in both early stage and cap dev companies. And as most of you, we want to be active investors in the way we support the development of the companies we're investing, bringing not only money, as you understand, but also access to 3 different markets from the 3 LPs. The deal flow is huge. We have been in quote-unquote operation for 1.5 years now, and we have received more than 400 projects. We have met 150 to 200 entrepreneurs. I don't remember how many we met. The financing requirements are huge and increasing year after year. When I compare the situation in 2008, 2009, when I started the SNCF corporate fund, and what we see now. So if we had more money, we could invest this money, and this is one of my pitch vis-à-vis my LPs. And the average size of the average financing requirement per project has increased significantly over the past 3 years, growing from 500,000 euros to 2.5 million euros. We've made 3 investments so far for a total of 5 million euros. 1 in Norway, B2B car sharing, 2 in France, 1 in peer-to-peer car sharing, Ziloc Auto, and a smart wheel. It's a product and not a service. It's called Easy Wheel. How do we define the ecomobility market? And for us, it's an ecosystem of products, services, and technology to create and propose mobility solutions which are economically efficient and environmentally friendly. And I think both parts of the equation are important. We used to look at ecomobility as environmental friendly. If you don't have the economic equation, your project is not going to fly, is not going to be financed by a VC. The way we look at ecomobility, and I like to say that, is not limited to electric vehicle and car sharing. There is much more to smart mobility, to ecomobility than that. And this is how we have identified what I call the fortune wheel, with these 4 quadrants. We look at innovative technology to provide a passenger or a goods with information during its transport, so on-time information, real-time information, geolocalization, asset tracking, I mean, you name it. We have the area related to connected vehicles, fuel sensors, electric wheels, batteries. We have smart infrastructure, and this is where you find the smart metering, and you find any devices to guide you to find a parking space. And last but not least, transportation services, and this is where you find the shared usage of car, the carpooling, car sharing, peer-to-peer, etc. Now, how do we see the market evolving? A few facts. Consumption behaviors are changing. Owning a car is no longer a status symbol. Collaborative consumption is booming in mobility application, and social network allows to combine mobility and fun as you move from one place to another, and it's becoming more and more important. New technology facilitates smart mobility. We all have a smartphone, and I think very few of us now go from one place to the other without providing or inputting information in your mobile. And new players identify this mobility market as being very attractive, and they are entering the market. This, you can see industrial leaders, multinational companies, family-owned businesses, but also startups, which are offering breakthrough solution to the market. And if we think long-term, and I want to share with you our beliefs, and this is what drives our investment strategy. Financing requirements are significant in this market, much more significant than what I was thinking when I started Ecomobilité Ventures, and it will increase as the market matures. Access to financing is not enough. You need to be able to test on scalable fields the solution that you are proposing, that you are offering as new companies. Profitability is not here yet. Profitability is not here yet. And profitability will come both from critical mass and consolidation. And consolidation has started, as you can see from mega deals taking place in the US and smaller deals taking place in Europe. Shared usage of cars are going to converge into a unique marketplace. And in this marketplace, you will have the opportunity to choose the way you want to move from point A to point B by sharing either a taxi, sharing a ride, sharing a car. The question is, who will be the consolidator of this marketplace? I don't see startups being a consolidator. I'd rather see a Google or one of the transport company being this convergent place. Private cars, this one is probably more tricky, but it tells you where mobility will go in 10 years from now. Your private cars will become public cars. In other words, some of you will decide to lend your car to a municipality or to a region and to make sure that your car is being placed as a complement to public transportation. And finally, and let's think about it, the most valuable transportation or the most valuable mobility is the one that can be avoided. I'm looking at the clock, and I'm 2 minutes over time, so I will end the presentation here and ready for questions. There is more to it, but I'm running out of time.
Do you have a question for Fabienne? Praveen?
Hi.
Hi.
I would like to pick up on your thoughts on the consolidation phase. So in the ICT space, for a consolidator, the benefits are rather very apparent. So just to pick up an example on the car sharing, for example, what do you see are the benefits of a consolidator here, other than the public purpose which is it's solving? So what does the consolidator get out of it?
Talking about consolidation, I was first talking about consolidation amongst similar players. You have too many car-sharing companies on the market right now, and this is overly scattered. I mean, this is scattered all over the place, and there's no way you can reach a scale effect with all these many small players around the place. So you need consolidation because you need to share the same back office, you need to share the same platform on which you make reservation, you need to share the box that you input into the cars in order to connect the car with the individual. And if you do that with 10 cars, you won't have the same profitability that if you do that with 100 cars, 1,000 cars, or 10,000 cars. So this is what I have in mind when I talk about consolidation. Now, your question is more, what about an established player in the way we've seen Avis buying Zipcar? What does it bring to the market? It brings access to huge client base. It brings access to a huge car fleet. And this is where economies of scale will come from and profitability will come.
Thank you.
How is it in France? In Germany, the public transport company Deutsche Bahn is very active in car sharing, right?
Yep.
Is SNCF also playing a similar role in France?
SNCF will start playing a similar role in France. My understanding is that it is part of the 2020 strategy, and that they are now looking at developing other transportation businesses complementary to the train, but not only investing in these companies, also owning a majority scale in these companies, so really making them part of their core strategy. But for 2020, so there's a little bit of time ahead of us. So they will ask me to identify the good projects, try to feed them or grow them within the fund, and maybe they can become buyout opportunities.
All right, do we have another question? Okay. Well, Fabienne, merci beaucoup.
My pleasure.